said on the corner next to,
It's next to that building on the corner,
yeah, I get, okay, he's right, it's not on the corner.
across from Oaks Real
Yeah,
Estate.
yeah.
Well, if you don't mind, Mr. Chappell, since you always do such a good job.
Oh, yeah,
Go
that's
ahead,
me.
because Lynn may be running right, but if not, we still have a quorum without him, so.
And we're on?
Yes, we're on.
Okay.
Here
There
comes
you-
Lynn.
There you go.
Oh,
Okay,
there you
good.
go. All right.
Good, good, good.
Late but in earnest.
Yeah, that's it. Not too late, about 30 seconds, so you're okay.
Hey,
All right.
I didn't bring any readers. Didn't have time to go by the house.
Hold it up like this. Oh, out, yeah,
Yeah. I still have 2015 vision,
not bad.
but it has to be 5 feet away.
We're
Anything
on.
that's close.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're ready to go whenever you are, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we're going to call the meeting, call to order, Historic Preservation Commission meeting, February the 1st, 2021. You want to call the roll?
Yes, Joe Chappell,
Here?
Aaron Brown, absent. Darrell Covington,
Here.
Valerie Duncan,
Here.
Adam Robb,
Here.
Patrick Kerr,
Here.
and Lynn Bilodeau.
Here.
All right. Got a quorum.
Okay. And on our agenda, I'm assuming nobody signed up for public comments other than people that are going to talk about
That's correct. We got applicants in the audience.
applicants. Okay. Has everybody had a chance to review minutes from the last meeting? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Adam Robb,
Yes.
Patrick Kerr,
Yes.
Darrell Covington,
Yes.
and Joe Chappell.
Yes.
All right.
Item 4, HPC application 21-001, discussion and potential action on a request for a certificate of appropriateness for window signage for a building located at 113 West Oklahoma Avenue. Do we have a staff report?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. As you saw in my staff report, it's pretty straightforward. They're looking right now just for a 3 square foot sign, an 18-inch by 26-inch on the one window. They're a new business going in, Little Feather Antiques. Staff did not have any issue with it and recommends that it be approved as submitted.
Is the applicant present?
They are not. They told
Okay.
me they were not going to be here tonight.
Okay. Pretty straightforward. We've got the application there. The sign meets our requirements. There's a picture of the sign right there. Actually, one photoshopped on, I'm assuming, and then we have a picture of what it's going to look like. Any discussion? Somebody want to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right. Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Adam Robb,
Yes.
Patrick Kerr,
Yes.
Lynn Bilodeau,
Yes.
and Joe Chappell.
Yes.
All right. Oh, sorry, Darrell Covington. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I thought
I had Aaron crossed out, and I'm like, I forgot to, yeah, sorry about that. 6-0, perfect.
Okay, item 5, HPC application 21-002, discussion and potential action on a request for a certificate of appropriateness for the construction of an addition to the rear of a building for a property located at 402 West Vilas Avenue, and I believe that's God's Food Bank.
Yes, it is.
We have a staff report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. This one obviously a little bit more entailed than the previous one, and this kind of goes back on what we had at the last meeting where we have some new construction. In this case, it's an addition. It is at the existing God's Food Bank building. One of the things that they are looking to do is put an addition to the rear of the building. They recently got funding to have a refrigerated unit that actually sits in the back existing, but they're looking to put a building addition so they can essentially have that inside or have it covered in that. And so, much like the last one with new construction, even any additions that you have to existing buildings, they should have compatibility with the district in that. One of the things I do want to highlight on here, and the applicant isn't here, would have been nice if they would have been here, because I'm sure there's going to be questions in that. So, you know, when it's all said and done, we can leave it at the commission if they'd rather wait till an applicant's here. But it is going to be a metal exterior in that. It's not going to be your typical corrugated metal per se, but it's going to be a metal exterior. In our guidelines, it doesn't strictly prohibit it, but obviously, again, going back, if we go by the guidelines, it talks about compatibility. And if you look in our district, historically and currently, everything is of a brick-type exterior. We don't really have any metal other than the architectural metal that's on the upper portions of buildings. I will say that the building itself is not a contributing resource. It's a very basic cinder block building. You know, honestly, the building itself doesn't have a lot of architectural character to it. It is in the back where even our guidelines say if you're going to have additions, they should be to the rear of the building in that. But honestly, I'll kind of leave it up to the commission to decide on whether or not it has compatibility with the district. One of the things that, you know, I had indicated in there, they were going to have it the same color as the existing building. So probably from a visual standpoint, with it back there, you probably really couldn't tell the difference. Because again, the building itself is pretty plain, and so the back would be the same. But if we're going to keep consistent with a lot of the architectural stuff, it probably is not fitting. One last thing I'll put is compatibility, as it's defined in our ordinance, is compatible of existing or capable of existing together in harmony. Gotta love that. So, with that said, I'll leave it back to the commission. Like I said, the applicant isn't here. I don't know if maybe something happened or what. I didn't hear from him. So, again, I'll leave it at the discretion of the commission of how you'd like to go.
And Dan, I know you said it's metal, but it's not the normal corrugated metal?
Yeah, it's not like if you want to say the rib metal type of thing.
Do we have a picture of, not this obviously because it's not built yet, but one that is made of the same material they're wanting to make this out of?
I do not believe so.
Okay.
I think the closest we could come to is you see commonly some of the roofs on the houses are that are kind of raised seam metal. That's what I understand it to be in that, because there will be portions where it has to, the panels have to connect and it'll have a kind of seam.
So for instance, the Bluebell has that, what you're describing for
Oh, by the
awnings.
Bluebell, that's probably the worst case, yeah.
But they've got that for awning, so you think it's gonna be that type of?
No, I don't think it'll be
Okay.
that, for lack of a better word, crude in
Okay.
terms of the ribbing. It'll be more smooth.
Okay. Personally, I'd really like to see, I mean, we've got a couple of computer-generated
Yeah, and that's,
illustrations, but
right.
that illustration really, that, and then the next illustration that they have, or the previous illustration to that one, if Aaron can
Right, and
roll back
that's-
to it, that really doesn't tell me what
No.
the side of that building's gonna look like.
No, and that was all that I received, and like I said, I figured that the applicant would be here, and so they could better explain what's going on.
Well, I think it'd be good if we had a profile. I mean, those metal panels come in certain, profiles.
Yes, they do.
And they either got a 12-inch pan or an 8-inch pan or something like that. And we need to see something that shows us what it is.
And seriously, I don't have I mean, this is just me personally, I don't even know if this is how I would vote. But even if it was, where we're talking about back there, there's some eyesore structures back in there.
I don't disagree.
And this would be an improvement. I mean,
No,
what my building used to look like with
Yeah.
the dilapidated
No, you-
corrugated tin on it.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. As I indicated in my report, even across the street there, the telephone property, AT&T now, but, they have an all-metal structure there.
That's right.
Down the road on Violus, I don't remember what its original use was. I don't know if it was some type of mill or what, but it still has, has your tin barn type structure on it. So, I mean, you know, it's not necessarily out of character for that area per se.
It
'cause-
it really isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, if this
And it is the
were-
rear of the building.
If this were a little former residence that had been converted to the food bank and they were wanting to do something, but I mean,
Yeah, and again, I think it's important to point out that if this were a contributing resource, it probably would be a, no, forget it, that's not gonna happen in any regard. But again, we're not talking about a contributing resource here, we're talking about, you know, again, let's be honest, if the historic district wasn't so big, it wouldn't be a building that is
Right.
typically in a historic district.
The Crittenbrink building is mostly metal there too.
Which one's that?
I call it the
Oh.
Crittenbrink building. It's that house that's right behind the train station.
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
The roof's metal, the
Yeah.
sides are
It's
metal.
all metal.
yeah.
So, I mean, part of me'd like to go ahead and approve this, but, you know, we've been burned in the past approving something that we don't know exactly what it's gonna look like, and it
Yes.
comes back to bite us. And so I'd certainly entertain a motion to table this until we can get pictures of a comparable building that they're planning on building. Whoever's doing that has to have some pictures of their previous
Well,
one.
and, no, they already have the refrigerated container.
Yeah, there's,
there.
Yes, they
there's
do.
a temporary, it's a temporary that's back there.
Not my
They want to just
understanding.
build around that structure?
Yes.
Yeah, they're building
okay.
around that structure.
That's part of the reason this all came up,
Sure,
is because that shouldn't be there, period.
right.
And so I talked to the applicants about it, and they said, well, their ultimate goal was to put a addition in the back and have that inside, and so obviously it's like, okay, that's fine in that, but that's what kind of
And I would-
started.
You know, and one thing that I'd like to say too is that, you know, I feel very different about this if it wasn't God's Food Bank. And it's my understanding too, I might feel different about it because of the location, because that there's the metal buildings there, because the existing building is a concrete block building that has had the windows, have you driven by and looked at it? The windows have been replaced by much smaller windows. The metal building may end up being a much more attractive building than the existing building.
Sure.
And I know that the need is great. That's why they need this extra storage, because so many more people are needing assistance with food. So,
Right, but I do have a motion to table it to the next meeting to obtain further information from the applicant. Is that still, I didn't get a second.
I said I'd entertain that motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't make it. Okay, I apologize. Sorry.
Does somebody want to make that motion?
I'd make that motion.
Okay.
to-
Somebody want to second that?
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
Okay. Joe Chappell,
yes.
Aaron, oops, sorry, wrong one, don't want her. Darrell Covington,
Yes.
Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Adam Robb,
Yes.
Patrick Kerr,
Yes.
and Lynn Bilodeau.
Yes.
All right, I will get with the applicant and let
Okay.
them know.
Item 6, HPC application 21-003. Discussion and potential action on a request for a certificate of appropriateness for window signage for a building located at 210 West Oklahoma Avenue. Do we have a staff report?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just like the first one, this one's pretty short and straightforward. Church on the Hill has an office right up the street here in that the current signage they have out there doesn't meet within the guidelines. So they're coming for approval to show what's on the screen. They're going to split it up to where a logo's on the one window and then the lettering is on the other window, not to exceed 1/3 of either window, which fits with our guidelines. So with that, staff doesn't have any issue and recommends approval as submitted.
So is this picture of what it's gonna look
Yes,
like?
that's the
Okay.
proposal.
Okay, is the applicant present?
Yep, I was gonna say, yeah.
Okay.
Either one.
Thought one of the church people would be here, but, all I can tell you is I talked to Mr. Fairchild this weekend, and he's in all agreement removing the big one off of there and redoing it this way.
Okay.
So that's basically all I know about it.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for the applicant that he can't answer? Okay.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Anybody
All right.
want to have any discussion before we vote? Certainly able. Can we take the vote?
Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Adam Robb,
Yes.
Patrick Kerr,
Yes.
Joe Chappell,
Yes.
and Darrell Covington.
Yes.
All right, 6-0.
And me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lynn Bildo. I keep forgetting
Yes.
somebody tonight. It's all because of my little thing here. I have one person gone. Yeah,
He didn't want Daryl to feel bad.
yeah, that's exactly it.
He forgot his vote there.
Yeah,
We'll-
I'll
we'll
forget
go cry
somebody
our
else
beer
next time.
afterwards. Okay. Item 7, application 21-004, discussion and potential action on a request for a certificate of appropriateness for window signage, a new front entrance canopy, and new colors for the new and existing canopies for a building located at 102 East Oklahoma Avenue. We have staff report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, this one's right at the corner of East Oklahoma there, right across from Boomerang in that. Once again, a good addition is in that we're getting another building with another business in it. The business is Pollard's Gourmet Grocery and Gentleman Jerky, and so as you see in the report, they're looking to do a couple things. One, the window signage, which you see there, they're looking to have it on each window, one that faces along Division and one that faces along Oklahoma. Again, it does not exceed 30% of the window per the guidelines. And then the other thing they want to do is change the front entrance awning to be more of a oval looking rather than the square, and then have the name Pollard's on it, which is the grayish color. And then the other two awnings, change it to that same color, the cherry wood. It's very similar to what's there, but it'll be a slight change. So they're incorporating all of that in there since they're going to be changing the awning. But the location of the awning they're changing, and that is going to be in the same location. Again, it's just going to have the rounded look to it rather than the square. And staff recommended approval of the application as submitted. And the applicant is here if you have any questions.
You want to step forward? Do you have anything to add to what he said?
Nope.
Okay. Does anybody have questions for the applicant?
Is the cherry wood here on the side, that's the color you're gonna?
Yeah, I used the historical colors that
Oh,
I was given from Ace Hardware. And basically, those are our logo colors and our packaging colors for our jerky. So we're trying to keep consistent with that. Also, part of changing you'll see in the awning, the white on the bottom, we actually want to go with the Coventry gray because the white is dirty, basically. I mean, you look at it now, it doesn't stay clean. We're going with the gray. We'll keep it clean. Also, our interior, which is in the process of being remodeled, is the gray with gold type thing.
Nice. The only reason why I asked about the color is it looked like the red on the picture is.
It's more red. It'll be the cherry wood.
Okay.
Yeah, we took a sample off
Gotcha.
Google type thing.
The shape for that one.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
won't see the brown on there. It'll just be the pollards with the oval. And we have confirmed that there will be no structural change to the existing framework of the awning. This dome will fit directly onto the existing, so we won't be touching the building at all. And if it doesn't, if there becomes a problem with that, then we will stick with the basic square that's there and just change the color. We're not going to do anything to the building.
Cool.
And I'm sorry, I should have asked you to state your name because there are people watching this.
Oh, Richard Harry, I'm one of the owners.
Okay. Anybody else have questions for Mr. Harry?
Move to approve.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Other than, it just looks, it's exciting to have you, and
Yeah.
I'm glad,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look
Thank
forward to
you.
going in there.
And
glad
just,
that you're doing this.
and just out of curiosity, what's the difference between gentleman jerky and regular jerky?
Ours is actually an artisan kind of handcrafted jerky.
Okay.
So we actually are going to be making it on site and it's basically considered fresher. We don't bag it, we package it differently and it's made differently. So like you walk into the store to buy jerky, it was probably made within the last 12 hours or 24 hours.
What are some of the things that you're going to be selling in your gourmet grocery?
Basically, it's all prepackaged. We're sticking with different items from around the country that you typically can't find. For example, we have a brand coming in called Ernest Hemingway. Their spices, marinades, barbecue sauces. We have different teas coming in. We have different barbecue sauce, Bloody Mary mixes, cookies, jams. We have a company in Georgia that they make their own jams called Emily G's. We'll be bringing that product in.
Well, it's exciting.
Yeah, I think
Very cool. You can call the vote?
Lynn Bilodeau,
Yes?
Joe Chappell,
Yes.
Darrell Covington,
Yes.
Valerie Duncan,
Yes.
Adam Ropp,
Yes,
Patrick Kerr.
Yes.
Got them all.
thank you.
Welcome to Guthrie, thank you very
Thank
much. And do we have any staff comments?
None?
Any commissioner comments?
Oh, Dan, I like your haircut.
Thank you.
We're going to get that on the record.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did the same thing at the planning commission.
Oh, did you?